Oh, shit. Huh. Shit! I need to put this down and review some comic books. Hit the music. Hey everybody, Blugoblin here. Thank you for joining me here on my blugoblinX channel for my newest comic book review for the following week in August 2013. Yeah, I'm still a little behind on the schedule, you know, when it comes to doing these reviews, but I'm trying my best to get back up to speed here. Got a big list to go through. Not too big. Before I get started, first of all, I want to thank all my family at Arkham Comics for these books, and go to my Blugoblin 01 channel, in which I review these 3 books in my latest back issue blog. I reviewed Detective Comics Annual 2, Astonishing X-Men 65, and Scarlet Spider 20. Go check out the reviews of those books, and be prepared for some profanity. Let's see. I have got these books completely disorganized here. Hang on, we're probably going to have to do a jump cut after I get all these organized here. Sorry about that little jump cut there. I don't usually like to do those in my videos, but in this case I had to make an exception. Got them all organized the way I want to now. And I got a lot to go through here, so we're going to start with DC and end with Marvel. Alright? Now with DC, we're going to start off with, oh yeah, Holy Nostalgia Batman. We're going to Batman 66, issue number 2. Oh, wow. It's Sub-Zero for our heroes. The Penguin teams up with Mr. Freeze. Plus, the Siren sings again. Yeah, this is a 2-story book. I am loving this series. And we're only 2 issues in. I'm already nerding the hell out about this. This is great. It's... wow. Jeff Parker, Ty Templeton, Jonathan Case, everybody who works on this series, this was great. It takes me back to yesterday when I remember watching old reruns of the Adam West TV show. This was good stuff. The Penguin and Mr. Freeze bring an iceberg to Gotham City, to the Gotham City docks, and Penguin tries to pass off the fact that it was declared as an actual country, and he's dubbed himself, get this, Emperor Penguin. But yes, great stuff. It's just pure solid fun. It has everything you could ask for from the old Adam West TV show. All the classic dilemmas, the classic illogical problem-solving skills of Batman and Robin. That just made it so campy yet so fun. Good stuff. The what's the word I'm looking for? The the full use of classic onomatopoeias in here. Just great. I love the attention, the detail that goes into this book, especially with the Penguin. I swear to you, I look at the Penguin in here and I see Burgess Meredith. I see Burgess Meredith on paper. And here's another good look at some of those classic onomatopoeias. You know, the ka-wham, boff, kicks, schwack, and I love that stuff. You almost want to start humming the during the fight scenes and everything. It's just great stuff. And but there's one thing they did in the first issue with the Riddler, and they did it in here with this issue involving Freeze and Penguin. I can't pronounce Freeze's real name, but it's not Victor Freeze. It's not. He's going by a Russian name. I forgot how they pronounce. I can't pronounce it. But we get Penguin's real name, Oswald Cobblepot. Now, I don't remember ever hearing the Penguin's real name in the TV series. So that's one thing that's completely original to this particular series, and I love it. This is great, and this was just a fun treat. I'm trying my best not to spoil the stuff in here because it's so well done. It's like if you were a fan of classic Batman television, then there's no doubt in my mind you will love this. But there is one thing I am going to spoil, and it was great. In the second story, we get a 1960s rendition of Circe, the Siren, and that's not all we get. She uses a throat spray to amplify her voice, but it was also concocted by what she called a brilliant friend of hers, and it's nothing but hallucinations and stuff. And the first thing that I can think of is probably the Scarecrow, but then again, the Scarecrow wouldn't really give you just trippy hallucinations. It would be more fearful than this, so I don't think it was Scarecrow. But one thing I really loved first was the winks and the nods to classic Adam West Batman moments, like the shark from the movie and the surfing Batman from when he went surfing with the Joker. I just loved that. But there was also another thing in here that really got my attention. Now, get this. The second story involves Bruce Wayne going on a date with a woman named Kathy. You know, and in Batman's hallucinations during this fight with Circe, Kathy jumps into action, but Bruce is hallucinating her to look like a certain someone, and I want to know if you can get a good look at that. Now, doesn't that costume look familiar? Damn right. A Batman 66 rendition of Batwoman. Please, DC, give this to us. I would love to see a Batwoman character in here, because I know we're gonna probably end up getting a Yvonne Craig Batgirl in here, as well as some new inventions of classic Batman villains that were never in the TV show, but they're going to be in the book, like Killer Croc, for instance. But this was just solid, pure fun. I enjoyed it. This was great. Could have been my pick of the week, but something beat it out. I'll get to that here in a minute. But this was great. I loved it. Do yourselves a favor and get on board with this series. You will love it, if you like that kind of Batman. We're going to stick with Batman. We're going to Batman and Nightwing, number 23, Second Chances. Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason still doing this stuff in here. Now, when I saw the cover, I was thinking, wait a minute, they're not going to. No. But this cover was a tease. This was a tease. What this actually is Bruce and Dick, the original dynamic duo, using virtual reality simulators in the Batcave to try and see if there was any possible way they could have saved Damian's life. And Bruce tortures himself with this thing. Before Nightwing plugs himself up to help him, Bruce had, I believe Alfred said he was on it for like 4 straight days, without sleep, just frantically trying to figure out a way if there could have been a way for him to save Damian. And for all those days, he kept failing. He's like, maybe if I picked the locks in the safe quicker, or if I had just gotten there quicker, or if I, if I, did this, or if I did this, or if I did this, maybe I could have saved Damian. He keeps failing. And it was just, this was emotionally touching issue. And when Dick decides to join him, they found out that there could have been a way they could have saved Damian. But after that, Dick tells Bruce, he said, look, you lost Damian. There's nothing you can do about it now. But think about this. You lost your parents as well. You didn't sit there, he's like basically telling him, don't dwell on it. Use it and persevere and fight on. It's who you are. It's part of who you are. And I guess that finally woke Bruce up, and he's like, he says, and I want to say this properly. He says, I may have to live with Damian's death, but that doesn't mean, but I don't ever have to accept it. It's like, Dick's telling him, turn Damian's death, turn this tragedy into something you can use and persevere and go on. Great stuff. And it could have ended right there, and I would have loved it. But we had to go even further with this, with Alfred. Now, what Alfred does at the end of the issue, I will not even dare ruin what Alfred does at the end of the issue. All I will say is, oh my God, that was good writing. Do yourselves a favor. If you're on board with this series, or if you're not sure if this series can still hold up, read this issue. This is definitely, at the very least, worth reading. Get a look at the stuff Bruce and Dick go through, and then look at what Alfred does at the end of the issue, and try and tell me it wasn't an emotionally tugging issue. This was solid. This was great. I loved it. Probably one of the better issues of Batman and Robin, or Batman and Nightwing, that I've read in a while. This was good. This was damn good. I really enjoyed it. Alright. We're moving along to... This is my pick of the week. Pick of the week goes to Batwoman number 23. J.H. Williams III and Mr. Blackman and Trevor McCarthy. Thank you. I mean, really, thank you. This was probably one of the best issues out of the entire series. And this series has been solid, with a few hiccups here and there, but this was just fantastic. I mean, 90% of the book is Kate and her girlfriend testing their relationship, putting their relationship to a really big test, and when it comes to fear and loyalty. Now, a while back in the series, it was revealed that Kate had slipped her girlfriend a sample of fear toxin that the Scarecrow had made. And in order to make up for that mistake, Kate decides to give herself a dosage of the exact same fear toxin that she used on Maggie. And she was out for well over 12 hours, but Maggie stayed with her. The rest of the story involves Hawkfire and the rest of Kate's army trying to get more dirt out of the DEO, and it was really good. The interrogation scene with Hawkfire with Bet was very nicely done. Bet didn't have to use interrogation skills. She had to play the person that they got a hold of to interrogate. She didn't play on his fears and didn't play on his strengths and weaknesses. She played on his mind, on his ego. Very well played. That was a good scene. But the main selling part of the story was the test between Kate and Maggie's relationship, it ends on a very happy note. This was great stuff. You know, Kate's basically, you know, after going through that ordeal with the fear toxin, she deeply apologizes to her girlfriend. She deeply apologized to Maggie, saying, "Can you ever forgive me?" And she's like, "Well, would you ever cheat on me? No. Would you ever hurt my daughter? No." She said, "Then I guess I can forgive every other little mistake you've made." So, and the book ends with Kate once again proposing to Maggie, and it ends on such a tender note. And hell, even Chris said on his review, he even had to go, "Aw." It was great. I mean, not every Bat family related book has to be dark and gritty. It's nice to see that that there are some characters who are in love and they have somebody in their lives worth fighting for. This was a solid reminder of that. Sometimes a hero's got something or someone worth fighting for. It was great. I loved it. This was fantastic. A solid gem in the Batwoman library. Do yourself a favor and pick that book up. Moving on to Green Lantern New Guardians number 23. The Rage of Relic. Ooh. Justin Jordan. Wow. I'll give you credit, man. You're one hell of a writer with this. Brad Walker's artwork is always really good. I'm a fan of Brad Walker's artwork. But wow. Wow. Relic ain't no bitch. I mean, yeah. Relic has... when I first saw this character, I didn't really think too much about him. I'm not going to say I wasn't impressed, but I really didn't know what to think about him at all. And then I see him in here, and I'm like, yow, this dude ain't playing. This is good stuff. And I love the way the book introduces the story. It's like he's clearly thinking properly. You know, you're going against all these different Lantern Corps through all these different emotional spectrums. Go after the first one you think is going to be the biggest threat. And where does he go? It's the Blue Lantern Corps. Because remember, and it's revealed in here, that the Blue Lanterns not only could supercharge a Green Lantern ring, but they could supercharge pretty much all the other rings, including, you know, including Compassion, or, you know, the Indigo Tribe rings. They can pretty much supercharge any of the powers of the emotional spectrum. So, of course, they're logically going to be the biggest threats, so he goes after them first. And we're getting another wink and a nod to the story that's going on in other Green Lantern titles concerning the rings constantly flickering off and then flickering back on for a while. You know, and it was good that they touched on that. But, you know, the main focus is the Lanterns taking on Relic, and they're not getting anywhere fast. It's like they're swimming in syrup with no arms. It's just really, really sad to see the Lanterns, including Kyle, the White Lantern, getting, you know, they're pouring all this power out, trying to fight with it, and it's like Relic's just kind of like shaking it off, but he's not being too arrogant about it. He claims there is a purpose for what he's got to do, and is just very, very well written in here. Just very nicely done. And Kyle and the gang decide, you know, maybe it's best that they retreat for a while and live to fight another day, which is smart considering they weren't really getting anywhere with the fighting. But the book, this issue ends on a holy fucking shit moment. I can't even give any hints as to what the moment is at the end of the book, but oh my god, Relic ain't no bitch. This was good. This was really good, and I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that much from this. This really surprised me. I was really impressed. Now, unfortunately, we're ending the DC reviews on a bit of a Red Hood and the Outlaws number 23. I try to think to myself, why the fuck am I still buying this series? But then I remember Starfire. Right! Because Starfire's a character that I grew up with. I grew up admiring her. like I said, she's one of my favorite characters of all time. Bar none. Male, female, alien, whatever. One of my favorite characters of all time. And she's literally the only reason why I still buy this series. Because DC brilliantly decided that this should be the only series she's featured in. Fucking ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, this was bad. I mean, this was really bad. This was actually even worse than I expected it to be. Not to mention the fact that we're still putting all the focus on this asshole. What's really sad is that I liked Roy as a character. I liked Speedy, Red Arrow, and Arsenal, his 3 personas, prior to the New 52. But once we got to the New 52, all of a sudden, he's a douche. He's a douche. I don't like him anymore. It's like DC has made me hate this character. Not to mention I gotta show this off. Look at this. I know I'm spoiling the hell out of this book. I don't fucking care. Look at this. How fucking 90s is this? It's like everybody at DC, not just the people who worked on this series. It's like everybody at DC got in the conference room. Well, most of DC. I don't think everybody in DC got in the conference room and decided to go, oh God, I miss all the shit from the 90s. We gotta bring all that shit back. This is, I mean, not to mention the fact that, you know, the overcompensating gun and the comic book logic that suggests that a character can be this heavily armed and still fucking move like an acrobat. It makes no goddamn sense. And then he's taking on Greystone. He's using magical force field powers or whatever the fuck it is. And then we have a page of him. He's about to get confronted by Cheshire. Notice he has no mask on. Okay? At the beginning of the story, there's his mask. He's got his mask on. Okay? Cut to here. What the fuck happened to the mask? It's like he forgot to put it on. Jump to the very next panel, and then poof, there's the mask. I mean, that's a mistake worthy of a Nobel Prize. I mean, this is ridiculous. Not to mention that we're still getting just complete bullshit after bullshit about the assassins. The whole Jason Todd has no memories of them, but he still feels like he's got to do this and this and this for the league because it's the right thing. Bull crap that I don't give 2 fucks about. I mean, literally the only thing that in this book that I cared about was Starfire, and even she was downplayed in this issue. It's like a big Lazarus pit is opened up. Jason Todd now apparently has the ability to summon demonic swords from his hands or some shit like that. And the Untitled goes down for the big attack at the end of the issue. Like, we haven't seen cliffhangers like that before. This was just an average read at the very best. I guarantee you, if Starfire was not in this book, I would have called this crap. If Starfire wasn't even in this series, I probably wouldn't have even bought it. This was crap. Just pure crap. Oh! Alright. Moving on to Marvel. Alright. We're going from crap to greatness. Starting off Marvel with Daredevil number 30. Oh man. I still have yet to read all those back issues of Daredevil that a buddy of mine lent me, but I'll get to that. Once again, I want to thank everybody, not just Mark and Chloe, not just Chris, I mean, just almost everybody that said that I should be reading this series. I should be buying it. Even if you're not a big Daredevil fan, you should be reading this. Guess what? I'm reading it now, and I'm loving it. This is good stuff. Like Peter David with X Factor, I hope Mark Waid never leaves this title. I've only read 3 issues of this stuff. And I'm seriously saying this to Marvel. Don't ever take Mark Waid off this book. This was incredible to see. I like the fact that they touched on the fact that Silver Surfer and Daredevil have met before. But the book deals with, you know, with Daredevil meeting an alien type being in his law offices. And then Silver Surfer, that's when Silver Surfer shows up and says, hey, it's like, hey, that alien, I've been tracking him down. He's mine, and I'm going to take him in. And it's like, and, and then cue the Daredevil and Silver Surfer misunderstanding scene. This was good stuff. And they actually have a deep conversation about what this alien is and what he does and what Silver Surfer has to do. And I got to show this off because I loved it. This, I done skipped it. Excuse me. There it is. Got to show this off. Daredevil says, I'll take you to him, but I got to drive. So Matt gets to drive the board. It's great. This was fun. Loved it. Couldn't get enough of it. But the alien, before getting taken into custody, whispers something to Matt. Whispers something in Matt's ear. And at the end of the issue, at the very end, on the last page, we get to see what it is the alien said. And I'm thinking, ooh. So long story short, Marvel is just really, really nailing it here with Daredevil. Loved this issue. This is a great series. I can't wait to get caught up on it. This was great stuff. And like I said before, Marvel, do not ever take Mark Waid off this book. Alright, moving on. The Superior Spider-Man, number 16. Dan Slott. Oh, wow. This was great. Now, as my student, my bro, TheMtVernonKid said, does this really happen? Not literally. I love what he said. It was more of a metaphoric cover. I was thinking more along the lines of, a figuratively speaking kind of cover. But the meaning of that's one hell of a way to display a metaphor. This was good. This was really good. Ock has, he's revealed to the whole country, to the whole world, that Phil Urich is the Hobgoblin. And just all kinds of stuff in here. And at first, Phil's still trying to possibly try and deny that he is the Hobgoblin. It's like, look, y'all know me, and stuff like that. But it doesn't last long. Pretty soon, cat's out of the bag, and Phil's basically in what I like to call screw it mode, And, Peter even actually, not Peter, Ock basically confronts him at the Daily Bugle, and shit gets real serious really quick. And it's very nicely done. The artwork from Humberto Ramos has been really well done in here. But, Phil's outed, and the real true villain of this issue has a certain someone that I haven't seen in a while. Sends her out to go pick Phil up and bring him to him. But basically what this book was is that Phil Urich is no longer the Hobgoblin. He has a new persona given to him by, I may be the greatest goblin that ever lived, but let's just say Phil is now working for the greatest goblin that ever faced Spider-Man under a new name. I'm not going to say what the name was or what he looks like. All I'm going to say is pick this book up, even though I probably majorly spoiled it enough for you to get the gist of it. But I'd still say pick this book up, give it a read, and just enjoy it for what it is. Yes, a lot of people are still frustrated that we still have no Peter Parker anywhere. Not here in the 616, nor in the Ultimate Universe. But don't worry. If I know Marvel, they'll bring Peter back. Probably just to capitalize on a frickin' movie. But that was good for what it was. Alright, moving on, we got Venom, number 39. I had found out through Chris, watching his review, that Marvel's canceling this series at issue number 42, I believe is what he said. And I'm thinking, really, Marvel? Really? This series has been fantastic. This series has had 5-star classics in its run. Really? You're going to cancel this? Why? Because you got another couple of Avengers titles coming out? Because we got another X-Men title coming out? Or are you just going to sell out and and then shell out more copies of Deadpool every month? Really? You're going to drop this series? And what's even worse, in my opinion, is that you're going to do it on such a random number. It's not even going to let it go up to issue 45 or 50. That's pitiful, Marvel. That is pitiful. This series is fantastic. God, y'all are killing me. But Cullen Bunn does a great, solid job on this issue. We get an introduction to Venom's new sidekick. I'll let y'all have a little peek at her here. Yeah. Venom's new sidekick, everybody. That looks badass. It's kind of like teenage girl Venom. Oh God. The Venom symbiote on a teenage girl. I'll let that sink in for a second. There you go. Wow. This girl is out for blood, and honestly, I don't really blame her for feeling that way, because Jack-o'-lantern, or it's a Jack-o'-lantern. It's not the Jack-o'-lantern. I'll go ahead and spoil that. It's a Jack-o'-lantern. But I mean, she killed the poor girl's dad, and so it's understandable that she wants to kill him. I don't really blame her, but Flash is telling her constantly over and over again, it's not going to make you feel any better. It's not going to bring your dad back. He wouldn't want you to do it anyway. Stuff like that. You've been given a great responsibility, time to be a hero shtick. He basically gives her that this entire issue. All the while trying to keep his own ass out of the fire, as well as keep an eye on her to make sure she doesn't go too far. So Flash has got his hands full in this issue, and it's very well done. We get to see more hired guns that was hired on by Lord Ogre to take Venom out. I mean, this was solid stuff. Great reading. And I guess Venom has a sidekick now. And when you know it, they gave Venom a sidekick just as they were fixing to cancel this series. Marvel, sometimes you give me a headache. I swear. I mean, this is a fantastic series, and you're canceling it because you're bringing in another X-Men title, which I get, but we're getting another run of Mighty Avengers with Greg fucking Land on the artwork. As if Avengers titles haven't been recycled to number ones countless fucking times. But this book was fantastic. I loved it. Solid read from beginning to end. Cullen Bunn, I salute you. You did a good job. This was great. Alright, moving on. We got the end of X Factor, part 5 of 6 with X Factor 261. Just think, the next issue will be the last one. This issue focuses mainly on Monet and Darwin. Oh God, this was so good. This was so good. I'm really going to miss this title when it goes. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. If Marvel decides to relaunch this series with a new creative team, I'm not going to get it. I've made up my mind. even if they were able to somehow miraculously get Chris Claremont to start writing the series, I still don't really think I would buy it, because, you know, Peter David has just nailed it constantly, over and over again with this series for so many years. I just can't. I don't really think I should buy X Factor if they relaunch it with a new team, because this has been such a solid series, and this was a solid issue. This was good, and it was nice to see an issue of X Factor that doesn't deal so much in action, but more in dialogue and you know, plotted out storytelling. This was great. Darwin's in Las Vegas looking for Hela, Loki's daughter, trying to, you know, he wants to go back to the way he was before she messed with him and everything. And he runs into Monet while he's in Las Vegas, and at first he doesn't believe it's her, because, you know, he believes that she died in the Hell on Earth war not too long ago, and she's like, nope. She's like, Guido brought me back. And there's a misunderstanding here and there, but there's a big reveal near the end of the book. Darwin confesses that he loves Monet. So, what's Monet's reaction? What's Monet's reaction? Give him a kiss and then get busy. Yeah, and then Hell shows up. And yeah, Hell shows up after Darwin and Monet get down and dirty. But even though Chris kind of spoiled the ending, I'm not going to. What Hell and Darwin say to each other at the end of the book was very nicely done, and I loved the way this issue ended. This was phenomenal writing. Mr. David, I want to thank you. This was good stuff. I'm just eagerly awaiting the final issue of this series, and I'm going to miss the ever-loving hell out of this book when it's gone. X Factor 261, one issue away from the finale. I hope this series goes out with a colossal bang. Alright, we're going to end this review with X-Men number 4. Brian Wood is still doing the writing. We got David Lopez on the interior artwork. I love the cover there by the Dobsons. A great cover of Wolverine and Jubilee. A great, father-daughter-like relationship, father-daughter-ish style friendship between the two of them. It's really good stuff. It's nice to see, despite what some fans would say about Wolverine, it's good to see Wolverine like this from time to time. He doesn't always have to be pissed off and angry, and he doesn't have to have that blind, bloody urge to kill all the time. He doesn't always have to be an asshole. It's good to see. To me, it was refreshing to see Wolverine like this. Actually getting along with somebody and having a good time. Great stuff in here. And Wolverine does something humongously generous for Jubilee. Now, I'm not going to ruin what he does, but it was just good stuff. I mean, you really got a really decent story here of Wolverine reminding us that Wolverine does care for Jubilee as if she was his daughter. It's just good stuff. I loved it. The other side of the book deals with the girls on the team: Storm, Rogue, Rachel, Psylocke, and Kitty Pryde, trying to save a plane, trying to stop a plane from crashing. This was a solid one and done issue. There's some really big tension between Rachel and Storm. Rachel comes off as a bit bitchy in this issue, but not too far. Good stuff. Like I said before, this was great. I think this is my favorite issue out of the series so far. We're only 4 issues in, so it's kind of ridiculous to make that kind of a declaration about a series only 4 issues in, but so far this has been the best issue. Great stuff. Loved the storytelling. I loved the way the team saved the plane from crashing. I loved the stuff between Wolverine and Jubilee. This was touching. It had action, it had good drama, it had good tension, and all around it was great. I loved it. It's not too late to jump on board with this series. X-Men number 4, this was good. Just pure goodness. Alright, that's all I got for this week, everybody. Apologize for all the jump cuts in here. I don't usually like to do those, but sometimes shit happens and I gotta do some slight editing. Alright, thanks again for watching, everybody. Don't forget about my Blugoblin01 channel. Don't forget about my friends at Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, including TheMtVernonKid, Fast Second Comics, J. Al Ghul. Don't forget about my old friends Deadpoolzilla and Brandon Hex. And also want to thank again my friends and family at Arkham Comics, my girlfriend Jennifer. I love you, baby. Thanks again for watching, everybody. And until next time, I will see you all later.